What Matters This Week with Lauren Maloney.
Thanks for being with me this Sunday. The Green Mountain State's lone congressman says Vermonters are getting hammered by skyrocketing prescription drug prices. Now, last week, the U.S. House passed a multi-pronged health care package with some key provisions Welch had a hand in. I sat down with him earlier this month in Washington, D.C. Health care and oversight on President Trump were big topics. Take a look.
We've got to improve the Affordable Care Act. And the biggest thing we have to do is make healthcare more affordable. And it's one of the reasons why I'm focusing so much on trying to bring down the cost of prescription drugs. The expense to individuals, to employers who are providing healthcare to their workers, and to taxpayers is wicked. So I'm hoping we can get some bipartisan support, including the president's support, to focus on bringing down those costs. But the issue on healthcare for Mr. Trump, President Trump, continues to be one where he's trying to roll back the progress we've made. You know, the proposal they made to repeal health care would have taken away health care benefits from 25 million people. And President Trump still doesn't have a plan to replace the Affordable Care Act. So, one, we've got to improve what we have, not repeal it. And number two, we've got to start focusing on the high cost of health care and try to bring that down, particularly prescription drugs.
Are we making inroads nationally and at the state level to make some drugs easier for people to afford?
We are making some progress. We passed two bills out of the House that I co-sponsored. One to stop the pharmaceutical companies for paying other companies from bringing their generic, lower-priced product to the market. And that's outrageous. You know, the pharma companies get a patent. For a period of time, they are the only seller of that drug. Then they want to maintain that pricing power by paying off another company to not bring their competing product to the market. We want to make that illegal. The other thing pharma companies have done is refuse to give samples of their products to generic companies who can then develop that alternative and bring it to market at the end of the patent period. We're making that illegal. So those are two things we've done in the House. Now, third, the president has said to me, but he's also said to others, he's in favor of allowing us to import safe medications from other countries like Canada. As long as they're safe, you know, if we can buy it from Canada, in many cases, it's a third the cost of what we pay for it in the United States, even though it's the exact same drug. So there's growing support for the idea of importation. We can import other products, and we have a track and trace system where we can be really sure it's safe. So we're going to keep pushing that, and my hope on this is that I can work with the president.
Congressman, some people say, you know, we have to move on. There are more pertinent issues. How long are you willing to take when it comes to diving into obstruction issues, when it comes to oversight into this president?
Well, I'm on a couple of committees that actually have the responsibility to do oversight. The Oversight Committee and also the Intelligence Committee. Intelligence Committee obviously has jurisdiction over all the issues around Russia and Russian interference in our election. So I've got the responsibility as a member of those committees to do that work. But I'm also on the Energy and Commerce Committee, and I'm also working with folks on bringing down the cost of prescription drugs, focusing on infrastructure where we know there's an opportunity to make progress. Republicans and Democrats want to do it. So my view is part of my job is going to be oversight, and I'll do that with energy, and part of my job is to do policy. And the policies I want to pursue are things where, if we're successful, bringing down the cost of prescription drugs, having a good infrastructure plan with broadband build-out. That's good for folks whether they voted for Trump or they voted for Hillary.
We just talked to Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. She had very nice things to say about working with you. How important is it to you to work across the aisle when it comes to, she had mentioned the northern border issues, making sure the ports of entry in Champlain, some of them in Vermont are staffed because there's talk about taking some of that staff and bringing it to the southern border, the Homeland Security Secretary said this week. So when it comes to those issues, is there no political sides?
I work well with her and with other Republicans. When you're talking about specific things, generally, there's real room to make progress for the people I represent and the people my colleagues represent. So Elise, of course, is a colleague on the Intelligence Committee as well, so we spend a lot of time together, and we border and share the lake. So we have a mutual interest in finding ways to be helpful. You know, we have clean water in the lake. That's good for her constituents, and it's good for us in Vermont. We have a good intelligence policy. That's good for all Americans, and we can work together to do that. And I've also found, in general, that the big things that have to be done usually are better done and more durable when you can get both sides to agree. So that's been my history in Vermont, and I've seen in Vermont the bipartisan way we approach things. And I think, frankly, we need more of that down here in D.C.